Hello and welcome back to Forza Horizon 4. New week means there is another brand new car to test out. And this week it is the number 5 Ford Escort from 1977, which obviously is a rallying Ford Escort. I'm guessing it was pretty successful for them to feel the need to put it in. But it kind of feels like it's very similar to the standard Ford Escort we've already got. But anyway, I'll be going and checking that out in a second. If you haven't seen last week's video where we had a look at the GT70, that went up same time last week, and the week before that we looked at the Zenvo. And I will be back next week to test out the new RX-7 that's being added. But yes, this week it's the number 5 Ford Escort, which I've gone in and won. It's for 50% of the season. So we will go and find that, jump straight in it, see what it's like stock, and then go and see what upgrades and stuff are available before taking it for a quick blast down our usual off-road little rally route that I usually do. So, how does it compare to this, which is of course the standard version of this car? So basically, I don't know why we're not allowed to just put rally lights on that and then make our livery for it, because you could just do that. It's not. But anyway, it's A-Class 729, where this is all the way down in D-Class at 311. So it's running more horsepower. It's actually running more displacement, although it's the RS 1800, so they should both be a 1.8. I guess this has just been bored out a bit because it's a rally car. But yeah, overall it's just very similar to that, and a bit unnecessary. But it's in A-Class already, so it's not going to be too bad handling, so I might just take it as it is. I will check what upgrades are available, but we'll probably end up leaving it a little bit more standard. So yeah, it's 2 classes higher. It's kind of just like a modified version of the standard one, but like I said, I feel like we could just make that ourselves. But anyway, here it is, driven by Bjorn Waldegaard and Mans Thorselius, who I'm sure are very well-known rally drivers. I've just never heard of them before. I'm not the biggest follower of rally. I do love rally and I admire the skill they have. I think it's probably one of the most skilled forms of motorsport. Don't know a huge amount about it, so I'm sure this was an extremely important rally car. I mean, I know the Ford Escort was extremely successful. I just don't know the particular numbers and liveries and drivers and which rallies it actually won. So there we go. Right, I think we should head to a garage and see what upgrades and stuff are available. Probably won't do much with it, and then we'll take it down my favourite little dirt road test zone. So let's go over to Fairlawn Manor, see what upgrades and customization and stuff's available, maybe have a quick look at what community designs have been made, and then, yeah, like I say, we'll go and test it out properly. So here we are at Fairlawn Manor. Let's have a quick look at what is available. So in terms of aero, I'm guessing we can... Interesting. We can have less rally lights, which is obviously less good, so we won't do that. And you can remove the front mud flaps, but not the rear mud flaps, if for whatever reason you want to do that. Right, let's see what engines we've got. We've got an inline 6, a V8, a turbo rally, and a turbo. But I won't be changing those. I'm guessing we've got a... It is rear-wheel drive, isn't it? Got an all-wheel drive swap, which could be interesting. What tyres are we on? Right, we're already on rallies. I will bring the width out. We'll widen those and bring the track width out a bit, just for a bit of extra handling, but... Like I say, I don't want to mess with it too much. What have we got here? Got one transmission option, we might as well throw that in. Guessing we're already on sport brakes, I think. We're not on rally springs, interestingly. And there is a bit more weight reduction to be brought out of it. Okay, we'll do that then. But I won't mess with... There's not actually that much you can do with this engine. You know what, it's only 4 parts. I'm just going to throw on what we can do with this engine, but leave it. So it's maxed out, but on standard engine and still rear-wheel drive. This just adds us a little bit more power to be playing with, which should hopefully make it slightly more enjoyable to drive. I mean, it wasn't bad from the few meters I drove it before. We'll have a quick look at... Obviously there's not going to be any paints there, but see what the wonderful Forza community has made for this beautiful car. Yes, lots of things, which I'm sure you could put on the other... Who's just uploaded the design we've already got? And somehow had 11 download. Oh, what is that profile? That car in the pro... Oh. Ooh. Okay, that pretty much explains everything. Right. Let's go and find our favourite rally road. So if you don't know, there's a road I always take all the rally cars to. Took the Puma there, took all the cars from that update. We took the GT70 there last week. So it's not a timed run or anything. I'm basically just going to fast travel to the bottom of this dirt road. Then we're going to go all the way up here, all the way to the coast. And that's my kind of test route for rally cars that Forza add. So yeah, let's do that. If I'm honest, this is probably the car I was least looking forward to out of the four. Last week it was the GT70, which was very cool. And before that was the Zenvo with the wobbly spoiler. And who doesn't want a Zenvo with a wobbly spoiler? And then next week we've got the RX-7. So this is probably my least interested... what I'm least interested in. I mean, I love the Escort, but it's just not that much better than the standard one to be worth adding. Anyway, let's go. See if we can drive a bit better than we did with the GT70, which I did modify very badly. I put a lot of power in it and didn't add much grip, and it was absolutely horrible to drive. This, though, is not far off how Ford intended it to be. So it might not be as bad. Let's get this view, yes. Our bonnet and rally lights. Feels much faster in this camera. I'm very not used to driving from this view, but it does feel quite cool. I think I overdid that one a little bit. We're getting drift points. Oops. It's a lot more controllable than the GT70, is what I was saying before that happened. But yes, it is. But yeah, in the end, this is kind of what replaced the GT70. This was just being successful, modified Escorts, so they scrapped that program. So that's kind of... this car is partially responsible for that GT70 not really existing. Because it was accidentally too good. Whoa! Don't hit the bridge. And that's why everyone knows this car and not the GT70. And they finally got the car that they added in winter season the right way round. Rally car in winter is probably the one that makes the most sense. I mean, ideally we wouldn't want winter to exist at all in here, but if we're going to have winter and they're going to add a car that week, let's go this way. It might as well be a rally car. Supercar added in. That would be in summer. Summer, and then... so the Zenvo would have been summer, which makes sense. Supercar in summer. Then GT70 in autumn, yeah. Not make sense. Rally car in winter. Kind of does make sense if you're going to add it at any point. And RX-7 in spring. Yeah, why not? But yeah, I quite like this car. Feels quite well balanced. Handles quite well off-road for a rear-wheel drive car. Obviously it's going to grip up better all-wheel drive, but it's quite fun sliding this around this dirt trail. I'm quite enjoying this little car. And yeah, I do quite like our little dirt road that we come to for testing out rally cars. Really, I should set up a proper, if you could put a blueprint start line there, I would set up a proper racing on here. So we could time some of these cars. I suppose you could use that blueprint at this end and we could run it the other way. Might be interesting. But yeah. Oh, nearly spun out again. Overall, I quite like this car. It handles better than the GT70, which admittedly I modified badly, and this one I haven't done that much with. So, in terms of driving, I've enjoyed this more than the other two cars, actually. The Zenvo's cool, because it's got a wobbly spoiler, but it's kind of a bit pointless in the end. But yeah, I know a lot of people wanted it, and that made sense. The GT70 was cool because of what it was. Quite an unusual car. I know it was, in the end, scrapped because it was terrible, but that was quite cool because of what it was. This is cool because it's a rallying Ford Escort. It kind of feels a bit unnecessary because we've already got the standard one, so very nice to drive. I enjoy it, I recommend going and getting it, but it's very similar to the standard Escort we've already got, and therefore they probably should have added something else. There, I think that pretty much summarises this car. Hello Cadillac, what are you doing? We found a madman in the Cadillac. Great, things are obviously normal. But yeah, I've very much enjoyed driving this. I just kind of feel like, and it's cool to have a proper rallying car in here, but we've kind of already got this car, Forza. You're kind of just being lazy and duplicating things, so if you're going to add a new car, at least make it new, maybe. But anyway, that's all for a first look at this Ford Escort. I do like it, but it's a bit of a copy and paste job. Next week we have got the RX-7 from 85, so it is actually a new, well, it's been in Forza before, I believe, but it is a new car that's not in this game in any, well, the early RX-7 isn't in this game in any form, that generation of it. So that it is a new version of that car, I guess, in that it's the only Mark 1 we've got. But yeah, that will be more interesting because this, like I say, is pretty much copy and paste of this generation of Escort that we've already got. So yeah, I will be looking at that next week. If you didn't see the video last week, I took a look at the GT70, so if you want to see that, that went up same time last week, and the week before we took a look at the Zenvo. But yeah, next week I will be here to take a look at the RX-7, but that's going to do it for this first look at the Ford Escort rally car. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next video very soon.